Hello everyone. So I'm still in Wellington, and as you can see the weather is still like that. So it's been already whole week that I'm in Wellington, and the weather is actually not improving. And yesterday supposed to be sun, but still, as you can see, it's going on like that. Now I must say, like, I've been several times in Wellington, and most of the time the weather was quite bad. There are sunny days in Wellington, but that's not rare. It's very windy here, and even when I was in Tapu was chiller, but a lot less rain and more dry weather. So no, sometimes it's nice to have rainy weather, stay at home, but when it's going on for a week, so who knows. So I guess I'll go today to museum and hang out here before tomorrow going to the South Island. Yeah, so this is behind me. It's a Tapapa Museum. It's very cool, good museum now because of not enough tourists in New Zealand. So you have free tours that are guided, and also it's a really nice place. You can put your stuff. Someone in the locker, and somebody will take your stuff for free as well, and it's warm and nice over there. So, and you can ask lots of questions about New Zealand history and learn some stuff. And in this weather, I guess it's a lot nicer to be inside. So see you inside. Yeah, so when you enter in a Wellington Museum, you have really good service which will take your clothes and your bags that you won't need to carry away because it's really nice and warm in the museum. So you can leave your stuff over here, and a lovely lady or someone will just help you out, and you put your stuff, and then when you finish, you can just leave your stuff and take them back. So the reason why you kind of didn't see anyone who serves over there is because the lady was quite shy that she didn't want to be filmed. But I spoke with the supervisor, and she said, oh, you can share your videos. Because yeah, why not? So while there are such weather outside, it's a really good place to be. So now we are going to the nature part. So this was the New Zealand bird. Today there is a bird called kiwi, and the kiwi bird is like a smaller version of this bird. Like this bird was about 3 meters long and without wings, and was quite interesting creature. But like I understand, long time ago the Maori used this bird for food and for clothes, and this bird just got extinct. So there is no this bird anymore, and just small kiwi bird left. But I'll show you a little bit later. You will see this bird in a full size, but this bird is huge. Yeah, and this is the small kiwi bird. it's actually quite hard to spot them because they just walk during the night time, and during the day they hide. And also they are found in different woods and parts of New Zealand. So it's in all my years in New Zealand, it was several years in New Zealand, I spotted only once a kiwi bird. Another interesting thing about this kiwi bird that when it's pregnant, its egg taking about 60% of its body size. So very interesting. Yeah, this is the skull of this bird. As you know, New Zealand is very active regarding its volcanoes. All around New Zealand you have volcanoes, and a lot of lakes you see in the North Island are the creation of volcanic eruption. So like Lake Taupo, Lake Rotorua, they all expanded and grew because of volcanic eruption. Also Auckland has dozens of volcanoes. Most of them are not active, but there always a risk some kind of volcanic eruption will happen. Yeah, and this is one of the areas for volcanoes. So in this house, you can actually experience how is it to feel earthquake. And where is New Zealand here? And you see, so New Zealand has like on tectonic plates. So you see, very close to Wellington and Christchurch. That's why Christchurch and Wellington has higher possibility of earthquakes. So all this line, and you see Auckland and quite far from that. So here's a better side of the plate. You see Christchurch and Wellington. So as long as you are here, it's a lot safer against earthquakes. You see, and now we are here in Wellington. Let me show you just the last earthquake that was in 2011 in Christchurch. It was quite massive. Still, Christchurch rebuilding itself, and that's why a lot of construction builders needed. So, all good. Are we going to see New Zealand like that 2050? Who knows? Hopefully. Also, you can see a lot of birds like that in New Zealand. So New Zealand, it's a country of birds. There is no dangerous animals here, no predators, and we're mostly birds. And all the cows and the sheep and the pigs that you see here, it's like imported, like the UK people kind of brought all the other animals.
Family still involved in Lake Harvey Station.
There is some movie theater that explains about life in New Zealand. I'll just show you a little bit of that.
Myself and my wife Adrian, and then there's Angus and Dougal, the two sons who help us run Lake Harvey Station.
Time's 6:15, just right at the bottom of Bush Gully Fan, and we're about to begin our beat. Okay.
There's nothing better than being up on top. Getting there is not so much fun as it used to be. Today we're mustering the big year run. Our family's been doing this for close on a century now. It's in my blood, really. I think that, you know, I just love the hills. The high country has been run under pastoral lease for almost 100 years now. Unfortunately, there'll only be a few more years of doing it. Dock are taking virtually all of our high.
So the Maori culture is very major part of New Zealand, and something that very interesting to see that in the beginning, it was like when the Maori came 800 years ago, all the green represents how many forests New Zealand was covered with, yeah? So this was like about 800 years ago, 85% of the land was covered in forest before people came. This is when no people intervened with the life in New Zealand. First arrival and settlement was in 200s, 400s, and of course we started using wood and deforestation started. And today, well, 2005 according to that, this is how much actual forests left in New Zealand. So if you really want big forests, so you see around Auckland you have really big forests in the west. Coromandel has still huge forest. All the east part of the North Island, some parts around Wellington, some parts around Wanganui and the Taranaki area. West coast is quite green, still quite green. Abel Tasman, and you can see around Christchurch and all this area, it's barely anything left compared again to that. So this is the changes of the Maori people population. So as you can see, 1860, it was all that was Maori land, and this is the South Island, all that Maori land. And this is what happened today, 2004. Only the brown one, it's Maori land, and all the others, it's just, you know, government land. And the South Island, you can see, nothing belongs to the Maori anymore, and the ownership is for Pakeha. Pakeha, it's the non-Maori and Maori. Yeah, so there's differentiation between Maori and Pakeha. So everyone who are not Maori, they are Pakeha. So a lot of parks, as you can see, are protected in New Zealand, and outdoor activity is one of the main things you can do here around here. So, for example, this is one of my favorite places. It's in Vakapapa village, Chatoton Guerrero. You have this active volcano. You can go for a walk. It's around it'll take all day, go back and forth. And that's one of my favorite places to go. So I really recommend that. And just wanted to mention that actually traveling and doing some hikes and enjoying the nature and the bush and the skydiving and the diving in general and do all the outdoor activities. It's one of the main leisures you can do here in New Zealand. So whoever don't like the outdoors, so it's an issue, but if you like the outdoors, there's a lot what to do. So the thing is, New Zealand is boring. No, New Zealand is not boring, depends for who. Now we're going to the passports area. Let's see what is here. Oh, that's a cool map of New Zealand.
And it was a dreadful time for people that was moved over to. The cholera visited the town, people were back in their homes, rolling lying beside them. And
Not working, I guess.
immigration was the best hope that these people had. But in Paisley, we had
So this is some immigration map. Let's see what happened in the 1800s. Maori arrived here from Hawaii long as 1000 AD. By 800s, about 100,000 probably live in Iwi tribes scattered all around the country, especially in the North Island. The Chatham Islands are home to the Moriori Polynesian who have been there since the least 500s. Then men, mostly from Australia and United States, came over to kill the whales and seals and sell the oil, and Sky saw marry Maori women. About 40,000 more migrants settled, majority of them from Britain, hope to earn enough money to buy a land in New Zealand. So, see, New Zealand is a very attractive country for a long time. So many people want to buy property and land over here. So, wait a second, the land belonged to the Maori. But also the Australians and the Britain wanted to settle here, people from the US wanted to settle here. What is the gold rush? What happened then? Some well-established Scottish settled thousands of road types, many from Australia goldfields. Flood into the era search for fortune, they brought pubs, gambling dens and dance halls. Soon they will follow the lure of gold to the west coast, the South Island of New Zealand. Sheep. Ups and downs. So what happened kind of today? In the 90s, New Zealand economy picked up and new immigration law opened the country to all nationalities. Many immigrants began arriving from Asia, others came from Western countries. Towards the end of the century, decline in New Zealand economy led to sharp drop in immigration numbers. However, between 2002 and 2008, more people arrived to live here than departed. Population reached 4.4 million by the end of the decade. And we just recently came to 5 million Also because of COVID, a lot of New Zealanders came home and helped raise the population to 5 million. So as you can see, immigration had ups and downs all during life. Even now we have ups and downs. The immigrants. When these wealthy migrants arrived in New Zealand, they brought servants, shipment, blacksmith, sheep, cattle, planes, pre-cut house, hive of bees, several cases of plants of fruits, cheese, chest of gold, and iron pan landed in cargo. How many things of that you can see in the painting? Yeah, this is how immigrants looked like in 1844. Polish children. Yeah, this is just a story about immigration to New Zealand. Probably won't stay here for long. I'll come here later. היברו. ולכבוד ולתפארת נדבר שרגא בן יעקב. What is that? Let's see what is that. In Jewish synagogue, the scrolls of a law kept in a holy ark, often curtains alcove. Henry Phillips donated this ark to curtain Wellington's first synagogue in 1895. First synagogue in 1895. New Zealand, beautiful gardens. Still are so many beautiful gardens around New Zealand. There's some stories about refugees. So New Zealand receiving refugees all the time, and now recently the cap for refugees I think grew to 2,000 refugees a year. And believe me, New Zealand is the country you want to be a refugee, because you receive so many resettlement benefits. Help with language, you receive a house, you receive a weekly payment, you receive support from all around. So everyone who will come to New Zealand as a refugee will be really, really lucky. Story of the Pacific people of New Zealand. So, as you can see, not so many people around here. Usually it's a lot more full, but this is how it's today. So
She didn't have practice. She didn't hear nothing. No, she just looked at me and looked at me, how big I am and how old, and she let this straight.
yeah, this usually how typical Pacific people look like. Alright, so that was a short kind of walk in the museum. Hopefully I did you some kind of introduction that you will know New Zealand a bit better. See you next time.